Hello, everybody, and welcome to Frank's Retirement Home. I am Ruler of Men, joined by a couple of special guests. Tonight, we have a nice walker set for you guys. It's going to be, I know one of them's Death Dealers. Let me think. Let me scratch my head for a second. And Odin's Headhunters. There we go.
You're scratching your
Finally
head
figured it out.
trying to find it after the Odins are going to hunt for it, huh?
I mean, for it, I'm trying to. I'm a little bit behind on that. Do see a couple of bands already starting to come through. Thoth, Osiris. Nothing too crazy going on there.
Yeah, a lot of typical bands. Thoth, Cuckoo, and Mid have been crazy. I know I've been seeing a lot of Osiris and Bologna. over in the solo lane. So definitely not surprising to see either of them get banned out here.
Yeah, definitely nothing too crazy with those. I mean, Thoth, you hit late game, you hit that 35, 40 minutes, and you can just ult somebody for 2,400 health through a wall, no cares. Much the same as Cuckoo's really good in those jungle fights. You see, Spirit of the Nine Winds just rip through a jungle corridor with no room to dodge it, and ends up doing quite a bit. Geb also getting banned out here. Geb a little bit less common, but still makes the rounds. Achilles is a little bit of an odd one. Generally, like you're saying before, Osiris, Bologna in that solo lane, and
Oh yeah,
Bake.
I can say Achilles is most definitely a targeted ban towards Lone Wolf. He can go ham on Achilles and just go like 18-0 without like breaking a sweat. So it's most definitely a targeted ban. And Bake, I think no one wants to face the big whale.
He just hurts so much for no reason.
Hachiman.
Really, he does. There's no reason he should be that as strong as he is.
Oh, you wanted to move, haha. I slowed time down. You're just gonna have to die. Not. I don't think he's, like incredibly strong. I think it's more of just, in a comp setting, people just don't have any experience playing with him. He's brand new, so nobody really wants to
Absolutely.
play against things that they
Athena.
haven't been able to, figure out counters for.
Absolutely. We are seeing some picks come through. We are seeing
Daji.
tectonics on the Hachiman, very popular ADC. And then it looks like we're going to see Dumbledore on the Athena, and I believe it will be Ginkgo on the Daji over on Death Dealer side.
Yep, yeah. Should be Ginkgo over in that jungle, at least, with what we've been told. Sometimes things happen, but we should be good here. Got that Daji. I love the Athena. I think that, a lot of people think, the teleporter pads kind of make it less
Ganesh.
relevant, and I don't think that's true. I think that, you can still ult over to that solo lane, and then boom, I'm back over in duo for a Gold Fury. I think that those global ultimates paired with the teleporters are just insane.
Absolutely. I want to see if we're going to see double global ult on the Death Dealer side. I want to see Frank on Cherno.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really waiting for Frank to pull out the Cherno with teleport. Like
Ab-
that's just my dream. I want all of the mobility. He's got a teleporter in
Absolutely.
lane. He's got a teleporter to lane. He's got a Cherno ult to go wherever he needs to. I hope we see it come out.
I hope
Mom and
so too.
Maman Brigitte.
Mom and Locked, Ganesha,
Ooh.
Nike. Nothing too crazy. I know we've seen Lone a little bit on that Nike.
Nike.
Not too surprising there. But
Yeah, that's
Mammon,
definitely.
honestly, divisive.
We haven't seen a lot of Maman played down here in the Walker games. Um, a lot of times it's Bake Maman that get banned out. So it's going to be really nice to see a newer god, not the newest god, obviously, but like a newer god and seeing how people are playing her now. And especially with the new patch and everything, it's going to be very interesting to watch people play her.
Yeah, definitely. Do love to see a little bit of spice in these mage jungles. Saw a little bit last night with the Poseidon, but, Mammon and Ao Kwang are just so strong
Yeah,
regardless.
absolutely.
Are seeing some unfortunate bans coming through.
No.
There's a Chernobog ban. It's
No,
not
I knew
fair.
that was gonna come as soon as they didn't pick him the top three.
Other than that,
Um,
Bologna, just you can't play auto attackers in the solo lane. No fun allowed. I
absolutely
respect it.
not. How dare you have fun in solo lane? That's not where fun is supposed to be had.
And
But
we
we
get
are
the that's such a good
the
ban.
infamous Raul Hera, who got a quadra week one. So that's a very noteworthy ban. A lot of targeted bans from the Odin's Headhunters here. I think the only one that may not be targeted is that Thoth. Like we know Dumbledore is great on the Geb. We know Lone is great on Achilles. Frank's baby is Chernobog, and then Brow's been popping off on Hera. So very, very personal on these god bands here.
Poseidon.
Yeah, and I love that. You've done your research. Oh, they're comfortable on this and this. I'm not giving it to them. I'm gonna make them play, something that might be maybe slightly higher up on the tier list, but worse in their hands in the fact that they don't have that experience.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah,
and
for sure.
looks like might see a little bit of spice coming out. Double
Ooh.
ADC Chiron
Chiron.
mid most likely, and I honestly think Chiron feels really strong right now.
Hmm.
Haven't been seeing him in a lot of games, but every time I do, he just seems incredibly strong.
Yeah, he's been really solid. He's been a little bit of a pocket pick of mine lately, and I've been loving playing him over in the ADC lane, in casuals and such. Not definitely not in comp games down here in Walker. No one ban Chiron for me, please. But he's been a lot of fun to play with, especially with those homing autos. Able to just like run away and like just snipe someone for a crap ton of damage. It's great. I know Orion is going to do great on this Surtur over in the solo lane, which will be really interesting to see going up against those tanky.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to be careful. If you are a lone wolf in this this situation, Surtur just does so much damage early. It feels
Mhm.
like a cheat code. I was playing solo the other day. I'm playing Mulan and I'm like, oh, Mulan is just super strong early, and Surtur just like made me feel like a small child. Like just beat me up, threw me in the corner, and said, "Don't come out."
Oh, so you became one of his little goblins, huh?
Shibalonke.
That he just throws around and just like yeets at people.
Yeah, for the first 20 minutes or so. I don't play solo. That guy can beat me. I'm just gonna beat him in team fights. It'd be alright.
We are
Rounding off the
seeing
draft
X
with
Ball.
Shibalanke.
Yeah, X-Ball for Frank over there. That's going to be a very interesting setup. Getting that blind out, not going to be able to see that Dodgy or that Poseidon ult coming for you. It's going to be very interesting. I think I really like this team comp.
Yeah, honestly, I think both of these team comps are great. They
Hmm.
have good ideas from both. You see the really high shred coming out from the headhunters with the double ADC mom in. We see a little bit of global for global. Surtur has that. Eh, you can almost classify it as a semi-global, and then of course, the Athena on the other side. But I'm really looking forward to this. Shivalanke, Daji, Poseidon combo. Are they going to be able to, get those sneaky ults off in the
Hmm.
dead of night?
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? Hey, T Pity, what do you think?
All right, guys, the star of the show has arrived. I'm here with these picks and bans, and honestly, I'm a big fan of this Odin's Headhunters squad. I'm a big fan of their comp, personally. I'm a big double hunter guy. You've seen us run it in 2 sets in a row, so I really like the Odin's Headhunters for this one.
Yeah, definitely. I think, they're both very strong comps. It's so hard for me to say I like Odin's Headhunters more because I just like the pick synergy on Death Dealers. Just that 3-man core of Shivalanke, Poseidon, Daji. Just I don't know if they can pull that off. It'll be good.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see, and honestly, interesting to see Frank pilot this X Ball. I know that's one of Tech's, babies. It's one of his loves. He talks about his X Ball all the time. So I'm really going to be looking at this duo matchup. We've got admin versus owner. It's gonna be a great time. I'm just really excited for this matchup overall. Bunch of star studs in the Walker division throwing it down. Like you said, we saw Rao get the quadra on Hera last week, and excited to see him on the Poseidon. Haven't really seen him in mid lane too much. He's more of an ADC, was a support last season, so he kind of gets passed around the different roles. Excited to see what he can do on this Poseidon, but definitely the secure that Poseidon brings is one of the things that Death Dealer's going to be able to play around, as well as the global from Athena, allowing Dumbledore to really impact the map all around. And the Ganesha pick on the other side is pretty much, you're not really going to counter Athena, but Ganesha is kind of the best thing that you can get when it comes to countering Athena.
Yeah, definitely, can stop that, dash taunt combo. Just, catch the dash with the silence, catch the taunt with it. Have a lot of counterplay there. we're gonna have to see how this plays out in just a just a minute or two once we get on into this game.
Yeah, I am going to push you though, Ruler. For this game one, I mean, you know a lot of the names. These are names we've seen before, so you know a lot of how they play, stuff like that. But looking on the team comps based off what you know, can I get a prediction for this game one?
I feel like I like the team comp of Death Dealers more, but I think that Odin's Headhunters are going to be able to pilot their comp a little bit better. So I'm gonna have to give it to the Headhunters.
The Headhunters, yeah. I mean, I can definitely see where you say that. Like you said, the Surtur can kind of just lane bully, even a Mulan, like you had said, who's traditionally a lane bully. Surtur just kind of makes you not have a good time, and we've seen the Surtur go both ways in this division. We've seen the traditional lane bully, and then yesterday we saw BC kind of struggle a little bit on that Surtur. It just kind of comes into the way a solo laner plays and how they can pilot that. I think that Orion, just based on him as a player, I think he's going to have a little bit of fun with this Surtur pick. But Lone on that Nike is pretty dangerous. We saw him play it in about 99% of all games last season. A true Nike one trick, Lone Wolf is. And
She's just
as we
strong. I
get
don't know what
into
to tell you.
as we get into these builds, looking at stuff, anything you see specifically that kind of sticks out to you? Any differences?
So first things first, we look over at the Nike and it looks like that's probably going to be a first item, Jotun's Vigor. You know, I think it's a better Soul Eater, but I think that right now it's hard to commit into that. You have really cool items, like Blackthorn Hammer, Rune Forge. There's
Oh.
so many options there that I don't think that it's necessarily the best build, but it's not the worst either.
Yeah, and once again we get Ruler mentioning Blackthorn Hammer. Never never fails to be
You'll be
mentioned on a
hearing
on
that
a Ruler
every
podcast.
cast. They took my
Never
baby
fail to
away and they
mention.
finally put it back in.
And you will be damned until somebody picks it up. It will keep on getting mentioned. So hopefully somebody this set decides, you know what, let me go for a Blackthorn. I will say, looking at tech, he decided not to go for the golden shard, goes for the wing shard instead. Um, any reason behind that in your eyes, or
Um, so a couple of my ADC friends, they were talking about like, oh, I really just like the movement speed, the little bit of attack speed, and then I was like, please just use Golden Shard for 5 games in a row, and you'll understand. And they're like, yes, yes, this is it. This is too good.
so basically we can just wrap up the golden shard to tech, just being a bonehead for game one, messing around a little bit, going for that wing shard. But on the other side, we do see Frank picking up that TP that he is known for. We didn't see it in the first set, so we thought we had gotten away from the Frank TP the Frank TP ADC meta, but
They
he's
got
back.
outcleared
He's
so
got his
hard.
TP, and
The Golden
and
Shard is so strong.
and we are looking towards this matchup in the duo lane, which I'm going to just say we're probably going to be focusing on. The Tech versus Frank rivalry runs pretty deep, so we're going to see early on. This X ball with Death Toll and the Athena are going to have a little bit of pressure on the Hachi and Ganesh. But as you move through this matchup, do you kind of like the Hachi moving into the late game in
Um,
opposition to the X ball?
I think that they both scale pretty well into the late game. They both have a lot of value in those late game team fights. Hachi has the banner to help shred objectives and towers. X-Ball, has the ult to go ahead and drop things down. Mammon incredibly low here in the mid lane. Going to go ahead
And
and
we do
fall
see,
down
yeah.
Ginkgo first blood.
First blood goes to the way of Death Dealers, and that pressure in the mid lane with Rao and Inko manages to catch Owl just a little bit out. We know Maman early on is very susceptible to getting caught out. Kind of her not her only weakness, but her main weakness. Those first 5 levels are a little rough for the Maman, and maybe just stepped up a little bit too much. Good job from Death Dealers taking advantage of that. We do see the Hachiman Tectonics getting poked out quite a bit. Shell is used on the Ganesha, and um, lots of pressure coming out from Death Dealer, showing aggression in both middle and duo lane coming out as we do see Daji starting to make a rotation over to this left side. Ginkgo might be looking to punish the low health bars of the Odin's Headhunters as the only lane that they're really pressing up in really is going to be that solo lane. Orion doing a decent job of getting that clear out and keeping the Nike from being too aggressive despite, what we assume going into a Jotun start, you're going to want to be a little bit more aggressive on that Nike.
Yeah, definitely. Ginkgo's certainly looking for something, but I just don't think it's in the cards. A little bit too much health, a little bit too far into the tower. But I mean, there's
Yeah,
not really too
the
much farm on the map that he's missing out on.
Yeah, the ward vision for Odin's Headhunters are good. Not really going to allow Ginkgo to take advantage as we do see Owl starting to make his way over. Just kind of a response. Let Ginkgo know, listen, if you're gonna come and pressure my duo lane, I'm right here with you. And we see instant response from Frank and Darth, who are starting to retreat. Owl does come in, just trying to do a little damage onto that Athena, not really too much, like we said, level 3 Mammon, you're already down a level now, probably more like a level and a half. Um, if you are Owl, you kind of don't really want to see super early aggression on the Mammon. Maybe kind of just play back, get your farm, get up to that level 5 where you can start being effective. And as the game goes on, you're just going to start being that hyper carry that Maman is. We've seen Owl play this pick before, and so we know he play it. Just little trying to match Ginkgo's aggression early on, which I'm not sure you can really do with the Mammon.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, neither of these gods goes, super crazy before that level 5, before the ultimates are on the table. Do see a lot of pressure coming out from Lone Wolf. He's forced out of lane, has to TP back in, but, going to force that teleport right back out of Orion over there. Other than that, I was actually just looking, and something I didn't really notice at the beginning is, Orion getting a kill. I think Lone Wolf just got a little too aggressive and
Oh,
tried
the
to dive the
tower
tower.
dive. He tower dove. Oh, lone, man. I thought I caster cursed Orion as soon as I said he had
No,
pressure.
please, not another one.
Oh
No,
no, that's
stop
two.
it.
Ralph finally gets to pick it up after the double kill for Orion. And in the other side, Tech manages to pick up a kill onto Frank, punishing them for all that aggression in the duo lane. But man, you hate to see the double kill from the tower going over to Orion. Death Dealers may be just a little bit kill hungry early on. They did get that rotation coming over, but as we see the TP coming back in from Frank, he's not going to be losing out on that farm by having to walk over. Uh, but the tower dives are interesting. The level 5 tower dives. I guess Nike had the ult, so thought she was going to be good, but ends up falling for it. And Ginkgo, says, you know what? That looks like fun. Let me go do some of that. And decides to tower dive as well.
I mean, I like the enthusiasm. 4 minutes in, the tower's hurt. Surtur hits you with one stun and you're just dead. You're just on the gray screen thinking about, man, probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, and now Lone is looking at, man, now I'm 2 levels down. We do see the ultimate used from X-Ball trying to get that pressure back that they had early on, forcing the Ganesh, who is on pretty low health. I'm so thoughtful to play back. Dharmic Pillars do come down, looking for some counter aggression. X-Ball in there. The stun comes from Tech, and the gank from Owl picks up the kill onto Frank and picks up a double kill onto Darth Dumbledore, and that's going to be a I would say a great response from Death Dealer's aggression, but man, they were already got the double kill in solo lane. Now they get the double kill in duo lane. That's not what you want to see if you're on the side of Odin's Headhunters. Or wait, if you're on the
Other
side
way
of
around.
Death Dealers. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Surprising enough, though, Death Dealers still have a gold lead. It's 5-2, not in their favor. They're still 600 up.
Oh man, yeah, the farm looking like in mid lane and in jungle, they're gonna be a little bit up. Owl has made his presence known around the map. Ginkgo has also done that, but not as much. Been focusing a little more on the farm. He's about half a level up on the jungler for Odin's Headhunters. And in the mid lane, Rao's just got kind of like a clean half to maybe 3/4 of a level lead up on this Chiron. Jolly kind of having to play a little back until that ADC damage really starts pumping. And Rao already been active, rotating around the map. He's a Poseidon. As we do see a fight going down in the left jungle, that's going to be another kill for Rao onto Owl, who was dueling with the Daji in the jungle. And yeah, Rao's 2-0 already. That kind of also explains the farm lead that he's got going as we see support start to rotate towards the mid lane, leaving these ADCs to just duel back and forth. And we have the Hachi who has a little level lead. So far getting the better of this matchup with Frank, the aggression kind of coming to bite him back in the butt. But 7 minutes in, we've already seen 8 kills. So if we keep it this pace, 30-minute game, we might see pretty high kill game coming out of both teams. The aggression looks like neither side is ready to back down. Are you liking what you're seeing from both sides so far?
I mean, I think it's fun. Everybody's having fun here. And I mean, Death Dealers, they're down in kills, but they're just building a lead. They're up to about 1,000 gold lead. They're just farming very well. They're getting their camps off the map. They're looking for something. However, looks like kills are coming out. Mounted archery is not quite enough to get the kill. Owl, please. Oh, gets it. Tower shot. Tower
Oh,
shot. Ah.
the tower saved it back. It looks like the Odin's Headhunter's plan is to bully Frank. He's already gotten like 4 ganks this early on. It's looking like a T-Pity lane with all the jungle ganks coming now as we see the Kraken come down with the Dharmic Pillars. And that is just a dead Chiron. And Ganesh did everything he could to try and save him, but yeah, Rao looks like he is just taking this mid lane over. As we see a 2v1 in the solo lane, trying to take this blue buff away from Orion, but he wants his blue buff. He goes up into the ultimate, so does Daji. Athena ult does come down, and he just decides to ult away, and he's not going to be able to secure that blue buff. Um, Solid 3-man rotation to get this blue off this Surtur. He has gotten fed ultimately by his tower, but by the Death Dealer so far. So he is a little bit up on the Nike, and the aggression does come out. The taunt from Athena jumping down. Nike uses the ultimate, and it is a Surtur, so he's just kind of running around. He's just kind of running around, still at half health, trying to avoid this Nike, who Lone has opted for more aggressive start. And honestly,
Uh,
I don't mind the damage
they
he's
they just
doing.
got Gold Fury. Double ADC
Oh
with
man!
Haji.
Oh wow!
I
Oh
just
wow! Well,
just
that
so
just
busy
happened.
looking in solo, I didn't even realize they just
Yeah,
take the Gold Fury. Kraken's
Gold
not back
Fury
up yet.
goes
Don't
down.
really have any great way to steal it. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
so first Gold Fury goes over to the Odin's Headhunters, who, despite that, are still about 1,500 gold down. And we see the aggression from Ginkgo. He has no mana to get out. Chiron with the rotation, and that's just a dead Daji who tried to get the 1v1 with no mana on the Maman, ends up falling. And, despite getting the Gold Fury, still being down gold, that is kind of crazy to me. Where's that main gap coming from?
If I had to guess, it has to be in this mid lane. Um, it's it just takes that. Yeah, about 1,100 gold in the mid lane.
Yeah, well,
Actually,
that is
like
almost
like
exactly the
700,
difference.
700 in the jungle too. Yeah, they're just
Oh, and
continuing
we
to build those
see
leads
Tech
up.
looking for another kill, just barely out of range. Can't grab that X ball. Frank has been on the run for the entire first part of this game, forced to back again, and he does
Don't
have the
worry, he's got
TP up, so
teleport up.
the TP is gonna come right back over. Death Dealer's running the double TP comp with the Nike and the Surtur. The Kraken does come down onto the Chiron, looking for another kill. Is Rao playing super aggressive, forcing this Chiron back? As we see the ultimate come down from Daji, looking for the grab onto Tectonics, not able to grab that, but Rao in the mid lane playing super aggressive early on, but the XP is still the same. Just the difference in the gold is growing. Honestly, it's up to 1,300 now. Lots of aggression coming out early from the Death Dealers, kind of being punished as we see Surtur comes over into this left lane, and it's just the bully Frank lane. However, Maman being pushed back into her tower, there's a little bit of a counter response from the Daji. Dharmic pillars are used, and they're looking for a response onto Ginkgo. He's trying to get out, can't, falls to the Surtur, falls to Orion, and they are just chasing people around. Frank trying to do what he can to distract them off and get his Athena out. Does happen, but gonna lose his purple in retaliation for that.
Might not
Well, we
just be his
see a
purple.
four-man
Surtur
rotation.
drops
Oh,
in.
and down goes Frank once again, 1-4. This early game, Athena getting knocked out by the Ganesh, and unfortunately, Tech gets targeted by this tower. They're looking for the Athena, but low health bars from the side of Odin's headhunters, but they're still looking for it. Surtur is still over here, is still chasing. Down goes the Hachiman. Athena is running around trying to find something, trying to get a response kill. Is going to end up falling to Orion, who's on a killing spree, 5-1. And in response, Chiron is pushing out Rao in the mid lane. There's a battle coming down, but it looks like Poseidon might be on the winning end of that. Manages to grab the
Minions
one-on-one, but it's
OP.
a trade. The Winions end up picking up Rao, and that's a shutdown going over towards Jolly Green. And wow, that's a lot that just happened. We just saw what, four members of Odin's Headhunters rotate over into the duo lane, grab 3 kills, and then a trade in mid lane as well. Um, the only one who didn't really get scathed was Lone. He was just
He was
chilling
just
on
hanging
his
out,
solo lane
farming.
side.
Grabbed himself a
Yes.
tower. He's just chilling over there.
Yeah, and we still do see the goal difference is about 1,000 in the favor of Death Dealers. Um, Still mainly all coming out in that mid lane despite the shutdown. The difference is going to be up to about 2,200. Oh, that's player damage. I'm reading player damage. Okay, never
It'll be
mind.
alright.
Never mind. The difference is probably around, coming out of that mid lane. Uh, 900 to 1,000. And a four-man rotation this early on is kind of crazy, but we've seen that a lot more with solo laners being more willing to move out of their lanes because of the TP pad, being able to, TP across the map and TP back. As we see Dharmic Pillars use, Kraken comes down. They're looking to kill Ginkgo onto Daji, forced up into the ultimate, looking for a grab. Manages to get the elephant. The Ganesh gets pulled in, but not really too much going to happen with that. Athena ult is used, and everybody kind of just forced back, had the little fight, and they were satisfied. No lives were lost in the making. But like I was saying, the solo rotations coming out early is kind of a thing we started seeing with the TP pad. So going that early, rotating over, especially if you're Surtur and have a lead, what do you think about that?
I definitely think that you can get those early rotations, but generally you want to be pairing those with the Gold Fury, and it just wasn't up. They had already taken it, so don't get quite as much value as you can, but like they got a ton of pressure. Now all of a sudden,
Yeah, they got
they have
pressure.
that tower. They got a bunch of kills over there. They're feeling good about that side of the map.
Yeah, and we do see the trade Pyro for Gold Fury, but low health bars on Death Dealers. We see the Aegis come out of Rao just for fear of being killed. The aggression from Jolly comes in. Tech picks up a kill on the Dumbledore. Down goes Dharmic Pillars. Lone Wolf picks up Owl in the fight, and Lone Wolf is doing work. Look at him peeling for his team. Manages to get everyone out. Nope, Tectonics picks up Ginkgo, and that's going to be a double kill for Tectonics, unofficial. And he is on a killing spree. Tech once again coming out on top of this ADC matchup. They managed to get 2 kills. Do lose the Pyromancer. They trade gold for Pyro, but like you said earlier, that pressure they managed to get in the duo lane allowed them to get that gold fury because Frank just isn't able to push up. And they're looking for this mid T1. The Kraken comes down, just barely misses getting the full damage onto that Hachiman. Only picks up a little bit, but they're trying to get this mid T1. And Ral is defending it with all of his might, trying to keep them off. Does manage to keep that mid T1 up, but Odin's Headhunters is pressing the aggression despite the gold lead still staying at around 1,000 for Death Stealers.
Yeah, it definitely started to climb down a little bit. Looking at that 800. At one point I think it was like 2,200. So they lose the pyro, they trade it for gold, they get a couple kills. They're looking good here. They just need to clean up their farm just a little bit more to really just turn this game in their favor.
Yeah, and we do see some aggression coming from Owl onto the Nike on the other side. Ultimate is used. Double ult used on the other side. Athena comes over. Nike pops her shield, and they're looking for some aggression onto this Maman. They're going to manage to grab her. Ginkgo picks up the kill onto Owl. We see the TP coming over from Athena going to that duo lane. Surtur forced up from the Daji. And it looks like Ral is coming over to chase this Surtur out of his lane. Lots of mobility coming from the Poseidon, but he's going to lose his tier 1 tower for that rotation. Uses the Kraken, not managing to reach the Surtur. And honestly, if you're grabbing a T1, you're going to get a lot of pressure onto that T2. And it looks like the T2 and right might be falling as well for Odin's Headhunters, trading out the T1 in mid for the T2 and right, but Orion picks up the kill onto Lone Wolf, and he's looking to defend this tower, but he might fall. We did see the X-Ball TP over. Daji looking for it, manages to pick up the kill. Ginkgo with another one. He's 3 and 4 now, and Owl responds. The respawn timer took a little bit too long. Owl managing to get back up and go in and pick up that kill on Ginkgo. And we see Tech on the other side looking for the push of this tier 2. They're trading tier 2 for tier 2, picking up a tier 1 in the mid lane. Towers are falling like flies in the dash out from Hachi as Order does grab that beacon. And that was a lot of trades. And I'm going to put you on the spot. Who came out on top?
So it has to be Odin's Headhunters. We look at the gold. It's gotten so much closer. The game is dead even now. A couple hundred gold is. I haven't cleared my wave yet, so just absolutely even up the game with saying, Orion, if you lose your T2, it's not the end of the world. We're gonna take a T2 of our own. We're gonna take this this mid tier 1, half health on this mid tier 2. They get a lot of compensation for not rotating over there.
And they trade kills. The Surtur picked up one onto the solo laner, and the jungler fell for Odin's Headhunter. So 1 for 1, 2 towers going in the way of Headhunters, and a tower going the way of Death Stealers. Um, we do see some more aggression as they're kind of circling around this fire giant. It looks like that's going to be the next objective fight. We're 19 minutes in. They are going to start looking towards it. We do see a level lead that Owl has managed to pick up onto Daji, finally managing to even that XP out. And they go for the Pyromancer. Lone Wolf tries to jump into steal, but secured by Odin's Headhunters, and Lone is going to pay with his life ward as Tech picks up his 4th kill of the game. Surtur forced up, and it looks like they're just going to go straight over to the Fire Giant. They have 5 people on it, but I think the Poseidon ult might be up in time for them to try and get towards this FG if you're Death Dealers. However, your X-Ball is on the left side of the map, and his TP is down for another 6 seconds, so oh, it looks like it was a bait. Odin's Headhunters go straight in. They manage to pick up the Poseidon. Don't have to worry about the secure anymore. The Daji does go up, but Hachi manages to get away. Down goes Daji, and they're on a full retreat. Jolly manages to pick up Ginkgo. That's a killing spree for the Chiron, and chasing the Athena under the T1 tower, trying to get this kill onto Darth Dumbledore, who is just standing there looking for the ult
He was
across
trying
the
to get his
map,
ult
not
off.
managing to get it. Yeah, not managing to get the ult. We see Frank on the left side trying to get something back. They are going to lose this Fire Giant to Odin's Headhunters, but it looks like he might be trying to push the Phoenix. However, Jolly Green sent back to respond to that, forcing him back. And looks like Lone is back up. He's back here for another objective steal, looking for it. He's got his jump ready, looking for this Fire Giant. Low health bar is on the side of Odin's Headhunter, so this could be an opportunity for a Lone Wolf triple kill. Maman goes inside. He manages to pick up I'm So Thoughtful. He's looking for Tectonics, manages to force them off this Fire Giant. And great job from Lone Wolf to get them out and get them off that Fire Giant. Here comes Jolly looking for a response, and by now, the X Ball, yeah, Frank manages to make his way over. All the Death Dealers are up. Well done by Lone Wolf to push them off that and manages to grab some farm, but it looks like they might want more. They're pushing up into this jungle looking for Orion packs on this Surtur. There's a low Owl, and he falls. Owl falls. Orion falls, and Jolly picks up Lone Wolf in response, but he's forced back by the Daji. Ginkgo is on the chase looking for this Chiron, not managing to grab him. And that's a successful defense from Lone Wolf, and Death Dealers are moving back towards this Fire Giant. You do have your Poseidon back up. You do have your X Ball, so they can shred this. There is only the Hachiman the Ganesh and the Chiron, which is double ADC, and you do have the Dharmic pillars up if the Ganesh can get there in time. But they are doing this FG. They are burning through it, and it looks like there might be a steal attempt coming out. It's at about half health, a little bit over. Um, However, Odin's
I like
headhunters
that
are
retreat
eyeing
call.
this. Yeah, they decide to
They're
back
looking at the
off.
burn rate. They're like, ah, this thing just isn't dying. We can't be taking this right now.
Yeah, that's
No,
a
yeah.
well done by Death Dealers, just knowing they took their dub, they got the fire giant, they got them off the fire giant, and now they're gonna back off. But I want to point you towards this X Ball build. What are you thinking about that?
Those are certainly items you can build. I mean, I understand the thought process behind the Transcendence. That used to be a pretty popular thing on him, just getting that mana to sustain, the mana cost on his, enhanced bolas. So I don't hate it. I just don't love it. He's lacking that attack speed. Doesn't really have too much going on for him other than, a little bit of extra power. So not the biggest fan, but you know what else I'm not a big fan of?
What
Five
is that?
stacks on Lone Wolf's Prophetic.
Hey, whoa, he's at 6. He's at 6.
He's at 6. Okay,
You just
okay.
got
You got me. You got me.
he just got his 6 in
I
23. Oh,
just,
there's
I just,
7. Hey, he's getting there.
I just don't like it
This
being
was
built
a
that late. I think it's such a tough item to get stacked.
Yeah, here comes the Dharmic Pillars as they're looking for a fight on this beacon. A four-man knockup. Orion grabs a kill. Owl responds. Orion grabs another. That's going to be a double kill. And Death Dealers are just getting slaughtered on this beacon. The Dharmic Pillars were good from I'm So Thoughtful, and they're managing to push them back, push them out. And with these double ADCs, as we've discussed, they do have that burn rate. And Nike forced into the ultimate, forced to jump away. And it looks like Odin's Headhunters are backing towards this fire giant. It's going to be a big fire call over that Pyromancer. They managed to get Poseidon off the map. So, no Kraken. Lone Wolf does not have his ultimate anymore. And not really too much you can do if you're an Athena. And this fire giant is just getting burnt. He's gonna look to try and steal if you're the Nike. The stun comes down from Surtur. He jumps in, still secured by Odin's Headhunters, and that is just going to be a dead Lone Wolf as the Maman does dash inside him, and it looks like who's gonna get it? It's gonna be the Maman. Angelic Owl manages to pick up his 7th, and the Pyromancer is gonna go over towards Odin's Headhunters, who are starting to build a gold lead. We've seen that it's up to 4,000 gold now, and another successful team fight off of that beacon coming from Odin's Headhunter.
Yeah, that was just an absolutely disgusting mom and ult. Hits all four. All of a sudden, they're getting hit by Chiron. They're just taking so much damage so quickly. Just no time to react whatsoever. Great plays from the Odin's Headhunters there, and that's what I needed to see. Them being able to say, we got this. We can take these fights. That's what they've been doing all game, winning fights. They weren't winning in the farm battle. They were trading out objectives, but in these fights, they are so strong.
Yeah, at least we finally see them having a gold lead after winning a fight. We finally seen them get a gold lead no matter how many kills they've been up. They were always down in gold, but now everyone's level 20. They're starting to equal out. This double hunter comp is starting to do what it does best, and that's just shred objectives, shred people, shred everything that comes in front of it. As we see the X ball being forced back, forced to dash away, almost bad for Frank there. Almost got caught out by the Ganesha, but looks like they want this left side Phoenix. They're gonna wait for their starter to get up here to initiate it as Maman is pushing towards that tier 2 tower. Gonna just pick that up real quick. It was on negative health anyway, so pretty free. It looks like we are going to have a 5-man siege on this Phoenix, but it's gonna be dangerous as the Dharmic Pillars are dropped. The Kraken is up, so it's got X-Ball Ultimate, and out comes the Kraken. 3 ultimates expended from the side of Death Dealers, but no dead on the side of Odin's Headhunters. But the Athena is jolly, manages to pick up Darth Dumbledore with those homing autos that you guys were talking about in the picks and bans, and it's going to be a 5v4 with pretty much full health bars on the side of the Odin's Headhunters. And if I'm them, I'm kind of just wanting to push in. They still have the Surtur ult to initiate. They've got a Hachiman who has the escapability of his ultimate, but you just go before this. Oh, there goes the Surtur. He is going right on in. They do have 2 bombs as well. Surtur is in the backline causing havoc, and this Phoenix is just going to fall for the Odin's Headhunters. And it looks like, okay, I thought they were going to try and push for the end. I was like, guys, I don't know. That might be a little ambitious.
Yeah,
Here we
if
go.
maybe
They're
if they
looking
got
for
2
the.
kills there, they could think about it. But I do love them saving these 2 bombs for this middle Phoenix, saying, "All right, we're not gonna get another great opportunity like that. Let's just drop those bombs, get that." Frank picking up a kill. Angelic Owl goes a little bit too deep to make sure they get that mid Phoenix.
You see the big Athena taunt coming down, and it looks like I'm So Thoughtful is just going to fall on this Ganesh, a valuable sacrifice for 2 Phoenixes. They lose their jungler, they lose their support, but you're pretty happy with that if you're Odin's Headhunters. There's not really any objectives up on the map for Death Dealers to do. They're going to push down this mid lane, maybe look for this tier 2. They do have all 5 up, so they might just be a conceding of the tier 2 if you're Odin's Headhunters, but pretty solid from them. Just pretty clean siege, managed to avoid the Kraken, avoid a couple ultimates. As we see the Kraken come out again, does not connect with anybody. Hachi pulled in by the Daji, and this might be Tech's first death of the game. Falls to Ginkgo, manages to pick up that shutdown on Tectonics, but and once again, another clean siege. Haven't really seen too many thrown sieges from either side. Pretty clean. Just got a pick, got the tower, backed off. Pretty good plays from the Death Dealers in response to losing 2 of their Phoenixes.
Yeah, definitely. The ability to say, "Yeah, no, no, we get this, we get this. We have ultimates available. We can push into this tower. We don't have fire. We don't have 2 Phoenixes, but that doesn't matter."
Yeah, and we do see the Pyro fall, but we also see Lone Wolf fall in response. He does have that Pyro bomb, so Death Dealers do pick up the Pyro, lose Lone Wolf, but the
It's sitting on the
ultimate
ground.
thrown
He
down
already
from
had that one.
Maman. Oh, never mind. They didn't pick it up. That's
Just
unfortunate.
chilling on the ground.
Uh,
It's
the,
like that sometimes.
Yeah, the ultimate comes out from Maman, and it looks like Lone Wolf getting left behind. He had that the health chalice and wasn't able to pick it up, which is very unfortunate. If you're Death Dealers, you don't get that second runic bomb. But we do see the ultimate come out from Maman just to kind of push them back, push them off, and we see the grouping around fire is just going to be started up by I'm So Thoughtful. I guess they do have the double ADC. It's just kind of going to get melted
Oh
as it's already down at
no!
half health,
Stop!
and
No! EFG in
they
20
are,
seconds. You have 2 Phoenixes down. You can wait. I promise.
and they're
They're not
going to pick
interested.
the fire giant. Yeah, they're just pushing ahead. This is Walker division. We don't think. We just see and we
It,
destroy
it was
as
EFG
this
in 15
6K
seconds.
the 7K gold lead comes up. The Kraken comes down, only really hits the Ganesha. Down goes the T2, but Poseidon might be following suit with going down. The, and Jolly picks up the kill onto Rao. The Dharmic Pillars are used. Out comes the ultimate from X-Ball. Ginkgo manages to pick up Owl. And there are people on retreat from the Odin's Headhunters. Jolly on very low health. Great ultimates coming out from the Death Dealers to push them off that right Phoenix. Only really managing to grab that T2, but you do have minions pushing up left as Nike is in there doing Nike things, not really going to fall. You have minions pushing in on your Phoenixes, and that left Phoenix is about to come back up. Looks like Ginkgo is responding to that, going to the left side to clear those out. But Surtur, once again, this Nike is just 3v1ing Lone Wolf, doing Lone Wolf things and just jumping into the 3v1. He's welcome of it. He is a Nike, so not really too much to be worried about. Um, that's really the first, I guess, failed siege we've seen from either one of these teams, or that really badly failed. And we see Nike kind of push this Hachiman out. That damage that we were saying earlier coming out. The Dharmic Pillars are dropped. Not too sure what for, but he definitely dropped them. And Surtur running away in the left side manages to take that left Phoenix back down. They're eyeing up this mid Phoenix, which also falls to the Chiron. Out comes the Kraken, expending the Aegis of Jolly Green. And Surtur is in on the X-Ball. It might be a trade. Frank manages two-pick one. Ginkgo picks up Jolly Green, and that's going to be two people down for Odin's Headhunters when it looks like it was just going to be a one-for-one trade. Good job. That crit, is much asserter.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like, the going rate for Phoenix is just a body. They grab two, they lose two, they grab two, they lose two. And Death Dealers are still in this game. Certainly behind, certainly not feeling too good, but they're in this game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, two Phoenixes down, but yeah, gold lead doesn't matter as much right now, but still only 7,000. We're looking good if we're the Death Dealers. It all it takes is one team fight, and we know that in the Walker division, their teams are known to throw leads, seemingly insurmountable leads. And I just want to pop up. Frank has placed ward the entire game as we see the Kraken come down a little early, but Death Dealers managed to steal away this Gold Fury from Odin's Headhunters. Owl grabs the double kill, and Poseidon is on the run. Rao is trying to get away with his life. This might be the end of the game if he falls. He does fall to Orion, and they are chasing down this Nike, trying to kill this tank, and that is for dead for the Death Dealers. And Odin's Headhunters is pushing up this left as Frank is trying to 1v20 the minions on his own Titan. You see the Titan's health start to fall. He's about to have 4 more bodies pushing in on this Titan, and let's see if the owner of the server can put on a Titan defense against the Odin's Headhunters who are pushing in with full strength, full health,
It
and it
looks
does
like it's a
not look
no.
like he manages
Grabs
to
a kill,
grab
though.
out.
Grabs a kill on the way
He
out.
manages to grab out. Yeah, hey, that's good for the KDA. Good for KDA. And that is going to be game one going over to the Odin's Headhunters. Manages to grab the game. Honestly, they just looked better in every team fight. They kind of came out on top. We saw this double ADC comp being run, and so far it's seen really good success in this division that hasn't been dealt with well by other teams. But I just want to say, Frank, I feel for you, brother. Getting the 4 or 5 man rotations to your lane, getting ganked for the first
Bro,
15
that
minutes
hurts.
on.
That hurts your feelings. It was like 9 minutes in, and there's just
Yeah,
4 people in duo. Like, bro, chill.
yeah,
I'm already
yeah.
behind. Stop
He
it.
said he said beforehand he just wanted to run his 1v1 with Tech, and it looks like the Odin's Headhunters did not want to oblige. But honestly, Orion played a huge game, and so did Jolly. Jolly played really well, even from behind. Rao got out to that early lead. But I'm excited for game two. I don't know about you, but man, that was a good game one, even though they did kind of get run away in the end. It was very, very kill happy, very aggressive, lots of fun to watch, and I'm excited for game two. When Alrighty, guys, we are back for game two of this set, Odin's Headhunters versus Death Dealers. I am your chair one, T Pity, and I'll actually be here for the picks and bans this time. We've got Ruler of Men on chair two and Mr. Nacho on the production. And we're starting off with these bands, and we see the Surtur band come straight up from the Death Dealers. They don't want to deal with that. Orion was kind of a beast on it. Last game also did get fed a little early by some tower diving hungry, kill hungry fellas. Um, but in that game one, Ruler, what did you think was the main difference?
I just think that Odin's Headhunters drafted a little bit more towards their strengths. They went for some of those gods that are easier to get value out of, at least in my opinion. And I think that that kind of helped them out. I think that Death Dealers really needs to just take a step back and make a more cohesive draft. You know, some things is just, this works together well, this works together well. They just need to have a plan.
Yeah, and we do see from Odin's Headhunters the Hachiman band, who Tech piloted the Hachi pretty well last game. Looks like they aren't planning on picking it again. They don't want to give the chance to the Death Dealers. Hachi kind of, I'm gonna say a really, really hot take. Hachi is probably the best hunter in the game. Um,
I think that is
and
like
then
an ice cold take.
yeah, I don't think anybody would agree with me on that. We got the Cuckoo ban, which is kind of just no one really wants to play against Cuckoo. You press two, you go back under tower. I mean, I don't play mid, and even I can play Cuckoo. So we see the Thor ban in response on the other side. Pretty normal bans, you see the Hachi, Thor, Cuckoo, all kind of traditional, and then we know why they're banning the Surtur. And the Athena ban coming out from the other side looks like You know, this could be a spot as long as, permitted in the third spot where third ban for Odin's Headhunters where the Chernobog can get picked up early for Death Dealers. Has been flaunting his Chernobog a little bit in the chat. I've played against his Chernobog. He's pretty good on the god. Seems pretty comfortable with it, and I was surprised he didn't pick it up early in game one. Might be something he goes towards in this game two matchup. Get something he's a little more comfortable on than the X ball. But so far with the bans, what are we thinking?
Honestly, still, plenty of variety available. Still a lot of things they can do just depending on what they want. I definitely think, like you're talking about, that Chernobog is just a good pick to get on out. I think that, being able to grab that early, but they're looking for a little bit of extra spice with that Bake first pick.
Okay, I'm gonna say this now. If this whale goes into the mid lane, I will lose my stuff because Rao has been talking about playing the whale in mid since the whale was released. he
I
said he
respect it.
said when he plays mid next season, he wants to play the whale in mid. So that could be a whale towards the mid lane. If they
Ishtar.
want to, win, it might not be. but but hey, the whale in
Aries.
mid, the whale can work anywhere. It's the whale. He kind of just does whale things. And we see in response, Ishtar and Ares picked up for Odin's Headhunters. Looks like they want some pressure in that early game. That Ares gonna come out and essentially just win early in that duo. And in response, we get these picks kind of
Thanatos.
fast. The Chernobog and Thanatos locked in for Death Dealers. As we said, the Chernobog going over towards Frank and Ginkgo on the Thanatos. Never seen it before, but Thanatos is one of those gods that, he's going to get your team going early. He's going to kind of match the way that the Death Dealers want to play, which we saw in that game one. They want to start it off. They want to fight early. They want to push the aggression, push the pace. And that Thanatos is going to allow them to put that pressure on. The Bake is going to allow them to put the pressure on. Um, Well, in response to the Odin's Headhunters, they have the Ares who's early. They've got Ishtar and Amma who just locked in for that solo lane. Um, Honestly, haven't seen too much of Amma recently. She's kind of been falling a little bit out. People have been favoring the Achilles, the Bellonas, the Osirises, but Amma's still definitely viable. Still a quality pick. And looking at these top three, what are you kind of thinking at? What are you kind of thinking towards these top three?
I mean, I'm a huge Ares fan right now. I think he's just too strong not to play. But I mean, Bake it's just such a dark horse. Is the Bake going to go crazy? We haven't seen it. We don't know. So
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah, and we do see the Poseidon band coming over from Odin's Headhunters. They don't want to see Rao on that Poseidon again. It's just looking like a big part of this Death Dealer team is kind of getting Ral ahead, getting that mid lane going, him being able to rotate, to push the aggression. They looked really good when he was able to do that, but as that Chiron kind of started scaling in that game one, he wasn't able to do that, or it was matched by Jolly. And as we move into this game too, I would like to see Ral with some of that aggression that he had last game. We do see the Hera ban also coming out. Um, they don't want him to get his comfort picks. He's a Hera. He's a Poseidon. He hopefully he plays the whale. I want to see that. I really do. And in response, on the other side, we see the Chiron and the Thoth banned out. Thoth just kind of the mid laner other than Cuckoo right now. Um, and we see Chiron as well. We saw Jolly play it last game. Like we said, the double hunters are in right now, and Chiron is one of those easy to play. He's got the homing autos. He's he's able to just use his two, use his 1-2 combo to he'll never miss an auto, which means I should probably play him, and that would mean I would not miss autos. As we see the
Mercury!
Mercury, the Mercury locked in for the jungle on Odin's Headhunters. Um, I think Merc's in a really good spot right now. I really like that pick.
Yeah, I definitely think Merc is, good, especially, those crit changes, get the devoted Deathbringer. That's the name of it. I had to think about that one for a
Hmm.
second. Devoted Deathbringer just makes him so strong. You build Rage, you build Boomerang, all of a sudden you're full crit with that. You're overgapping a little bit. Just gives so much more, hmm, I don't need to build like every crit item ever to hit that 100%. So definitely like the Merc right now.
Yeah, and into the Thanatos, it's pretty good. Merc kind of leaning more towards that late game. You want to get all your items online
Barticarus.
before you're really going to be like a super carry. Thanatos more of that early game presence
Charon.
coming from Ginkgo. We did see him try to get aggressive in the early game last time, but like you said, Daji, not
Morgan Le
really coming
Fay.
online until the ultimate is up, and then once both junglers get their ults up, Maman is objectively kind of just better than the Daji. Um, we do see the Charon locked in as well as the Marticarus for that mid lane going double hunter comp for the Death Dealers, and in response, the Morgan Le Fay in mid lane. So more of a traditional comp for the Odin's Headhunters, while Death Dealers are taking a page out of their book, going for that double hunter comp with the Marty mid and the Chernobog in ADC. Bake, unfortunately, not going to be piloted by Ral in the mid lane, going over to Lone Wolf in the solo lane. But looking at both squads, who are you liking more? What team are you leaning for, and why?
I think just team comp wise, I still have to give it to the Headhunters. They have just a little bit more that makes sense. You have the Ares ult, the massive dazzling offensive from the Amaterasu. You have the Morgan Le Fay that just puts out a ton of CC. Again, I think that they have built a comp that is easier to execute and is also easier to just win team fights with.
Yeah, I feel that, and the Ares being able to constantly pull the beads and going into that Morgan Le Fay and the Ishtar too, kinda just gets going in that later game. Um, it's going to be hard for Death Dealers to win, but we have seen a lot of success out of this double hunter composition. Um, I think every time a team has ran it, they've won. So this might be the first game that we've seen the whale not be picked or banned. I mean, it's only been able to be used this week. So I think this will be our first whale game that we do see. It's been banned out in every other game. So I suppose we'll see the whale making its debut in the hands of Lone Wolf, who's finally decided not to play Nike. But um, yeah, I honestly leaning more towards the Death Dealers team. Uh, just like the whale. honestly.
I like the whale.
I'm
I
just
like the
really
boat.
excited.
You know, they have the ocean synergy. You know, you got the boatman, you got the whale. That's got to count for a
Yeah,
lot. Then like
yeah, and we're
Cherno
gonna
goes
get
up
to
in the
see.
air, Marty goes up in the air, Thana goes up in the air. You know, they got a lot of aerial, they got a lot of sea. They're just gonna have to worry about the land of the the triangle. You
Yeah,
know, they've got the air
and we
control,
do
they've got the
see
sea control.
we do see the Frank TP coming out onto Cherno, and once again, Tech opting for that wing shard over the golden shard. You might need to message him and give him some of that advice. Use the golden shard. It's just better.
All I'm saying
I
is,
don't
he
know.
won last game and Frank lost last game, so
That's
therefore
very
Feather
true.
Shard better than Golden Shard.
Yeah, very true. But we do see the TP getting sold by Frank, deciding to not give the Chernobog TP. He's opting for the beads. We do see looking like it's going to be built into a prophetic on the Charon, and Ares opting for the Sentinels and Thebes. Normally you kind of see Ares lean more towards a war flag.
I War
What are
flag
you
every
thinking
time on
about that?
Ares, in my opinion. You want that extra move speed, that little bit of extra to just allow you to stick to people once you hit those chains. That's just how you get it done on Ares. Oh look, I've hit you with one chain. I'm going to kill you now. Do you have beads or sprint? No, then perish.
Yeah, and we do see a mannequin scepter coming out of the Thanatos. Not a big jungler guy myself, but is that something that you've started to see more in being used, or is that kind of a nuanced thing that we're just gonna see Ginkgo try out?
Okay, so back in my day, back when I used to be a big Thana player, everybody went mannequins on them. You're looking for that hidden blade in the late game. You land the hovering death, the scythe, the auto, and they're just instantly dead. Do love the aggression looking to get a ton of pressure. Frank gets
Oh, and
hit by all
Frank
three
might
chains.
just
He's
be
just dead.
dead
He's just
early
dead.
on. He's just dead. Down goes Frank in the first 30 seconds of the game. And
Ares
that
moment.
is just Ares. Yeah, that's
Just
just
just an
Ares.
Ares moment. I'm gonna walk at
At
you
least
and you're gonna die.
at least they managed to get their buffs down. They didn't get their buffs stolen, but early aggression coming out of Odin's headhunters pushing that wave in as we see Merc throwing Rao into the tower, manages to get out before the tower locks onto him and gets that shot. But we saw in that clear, we saw Frank tank down to about half health on those camps, and that's honestly the reason why he died. Um, I mean, honestly, if it was the reverse, Dumbledore probably would have died, but you would kind of prefer that on your support rather than your carry. This early on, he missed basically an entire wave, so we see the pressure coming out early from
Got the
throwing up
global
the throwing
emote.
up the. Yep, there you go. Coming out
Uh,
early from Odin's Headhunters. We see pressure in the solo lane. Lone Wolf pushing Orion back out, and they are both on no health.
the
Lone manages to
minions,
get the
the
kill, but it's really
archers.
the minions. The minions managed to grab their second kill of the game. I think both were onto Orion, if I'm not mistaken, and we see Merc was
What
looking
have we learned?
looking about
Stop
the
diving
tower.
people into tower. It's not healthy.
We were looking at
Oh,
another level 3 tower dive like we saw last game, and does not end up happening. So, Cherry 1 for 1, first kill going over to Headhunters, but Lone Wolf responds with a kill onto Orion Pax, who's just going to TP back in the lane, who is now down probably about half a level, maybe a little more. He loses a wave on that, but the quietest lane so far has been this mid lane where we saw Rao almost get thrown into the tower by the Mercury, and
I mean, to
just
be fair, that was only because Ral super hard cleared and just forced Jolly under his tower. He was just sitting at tower line because he could.
Yeah, that is the aggression that you'll see in the mid lane from Rao. We do see the whale matchup into the Amaterasu not really going that well for Orion so far. His health is kind of shooting down, but the Mercury kind of paying a little more attention towards this mid lane early game. They're all getting their farm, not too much aggression that we've seen in the way of invades, other than Ares and Ishtar going for that early kill. And so far, early aggression kind of what we expected. The duo lane going to be pushing up for Odin's Headhunters. The solo lane going to be pushing up for the Death Dealers, and the mid laners are just going to be, they're just going to be vibing. They're just going to be doing chill mid things. As Thoughtful once again uses the ultimate, beads are forced out of Frank, pulling in Darth Dumbledore. Ultimate down from Ares, managing to pull the beads off of the Chernabog, and that's got to be a call out to your jungler, who is still level 5 Merc, but Thoughtful looking really comfortable on this Ares, managing to push Death Dealers and kind of keep them under the tower despite the pressure coming out. We see ultimates flying galore as Charon uses his wave, and down comes the Thanatos looking for I'm So Thoughtful on this Ares, and that is going to be a first blood for Ginkgo as Frank flies in looking for Tech, who does not have the CC immunity of his ultimate to protect him. And nice early quote unquote gank, because last time we saw one at like 2 minutes. But we'll say early gank from Ginkgo, managing to pick up a kill and relieve some pressure off of his dual lane.
Yeah, that was a really good call out from the the Death Dealers to say, yeah, this Ares is pushing up. I'm gonna go ahead and use the summon sticks, and then boom, got him low enough, not enough for the execute, but enough to put him in range of the combo after it. Just great play from them to have the awareness to say, no, this Ares is pushed up way too far. He dies here.
Yeah, and we see the 3-man coming in into the mid lane. We see Thoughtful already rotating out, and both supports are starting to rotate towards this middle lane, looking to leave the ADCs for the promised 1v1. And you see in the solo lane, if you're Orion, you got to be frustrated, man. You're doing everything right, and we see the result go for a massive grab of nobody. Morgan Le Fay also goes up into the ultimate to try and follow up on that, but did not end up grabbing anyone. And if you're Orion, you have to be frustrated with this whale, man. He's auto trading, doing everything right, and just coming out with significantly less health than Lone. As we see the Mercury dashes in, the ultimate down comes down from Rao, and they're just backing right out. Ginkgo forced up and forced away on some low health, and lots of aggression early on. Not as much as we saw in game one. There was already like what I think 9 kills by now or 8 kills by now, so not
Something
as
like
much
that. It
early as
was it
we've
was a
seen.
bloodbath.
Yeah, but are you liking what you're seeing from both teams so far?
I certainly like it. I mean, do you see I'm So Thoughtful just absolutely using his pick to the fullest. He's just, I'm gonna hold W key, I'm gonna run at you, I'm gonna throw my chains and hope for the best. And
Basically, just
I
doing
I love
Ares
it.
things.
I love Ares. He's so good right now. It's not even funny. He should not be allowed to be that good. Another thing, like you were talking about though, is this solo lane matchup, and I think that Bake certainly wins it in the early game. I mean, he has the better item. That phalanx is just so much stronger of an item compared to that shogun's. Gives you so much more defense, a decent. I think it's pretty comparable on the attack speed, so it's just such a strong item.
Yeah, and we do see Lone Wolf going into that prophetic cloak second. We're gonna assume it's a prophetic cloak since he builds it on every solo laner. And how do you feel about a prophetic second? You said you thought it third was too early, so he was like, "All right, I'll do you one better. I'll get you second." As Thanatos is tossed back in, and Ginkgo might just be dead, trying to get up into the ultimate, manages to get away, and he's gonna fly away, fly home. But that's gonna open it up if Merc wants to try and go for some invades. If Gink or Owl wants to get aggressive, looks like he's opting to go for that on the health camp of the Death Dealers, and might kind of lead into a gank over into this left lane, maybe try and put some pressure. But Frank is safely hiding under tower. He knows he's down. He's not going to try and take any unnecessary fights. But back to what we were saying about the prophetic third as Ares ult comes out denied by the beads of Rao. What did you think
Second is
about the
definitely
prophetic?
better.
Yeah.
I just don't think you need to build it in solo. I think that there's just a lot of strong single defense items. You don't get the split protections that you get from the prophetic, but just really strong items in general. You have breastplate of valor, you have contagion, just a lot of items. Void Damaru. There's just so many options that I don't think you need to be building prophetic.
Yeah, we did see some aggression coming from Odin's headhunters in this mid lane. Once again, Rao managing to get up into the safety of the air, and the counter gank coming out from Ginkgo, almost managing to pick up I'm So Thoughtful in return. But we see a tower dive coming out, and Dumbledore goes down to Jolly Green, and so almost does Ginkgo. The ultimate used by Morgan Le Fay, chasing down this Thanatos, and manages to get picked up by Owl. And once again, the tower dive is unsuccessful. When will they learn? When will they
Tower
learn to
dives,
quit tower
they're so
diving?
hard. The towers do so much damage in the early game. Your Charon, you have 7 stacks on prophetic. You're not tanky. You're getting hit for a lot of damage with those tower shots. So definitely think they need to calm down quite a bit, honestly, on those tower dives. I was gonna say a little bit, and it's not. It's a substantial amount they need to calm down.
Yeah, and Ginkgo is gonna pay for that with dropping the camps all on this left side. Uh, he loses his speed, he loses his green. Frank does manage to secure his purple, but it looks like Owl might be looking for something right here. Frank stands right in the tower, unafraid or unaware. We don't know which one. The tidal wave does come down from the Charon, pushing back the mid, but they're kind of getting pushed in this mid lane. And this is where we've seen a lot of the aggression coming out of the Odin's Headhunters, where the focus last game was kind of more on that duo lane. We do see Ares doing Ares things, pushing Rao back under his tower, but once again, we see a prophetic being built on Ares as the ultimate does come down from Thanatos, matched with the Marty ult. Too bad he missed every single auto that he shot down. He's looking like prime T Pity out there and manages to fall to Jolly Green, and that's going to be a response kill when it looked sure that the Ares was going to fall. And Owl manages to pick up Ginkgo on the backside. He has been on like a quarter health for the last 5 minutes, just running around the map, getting some farm. And yeah, we see the wave being proxied by Orion on this right side, while Lone
He's
Wolf
proxied
is
like 4 waves in a row. It's actually insane. Just criminal levels of I'm gonna proxy the whole game.
and he's taking this whole right jungle. Thanatos is already 2 levels down. Ginkgo is getting shut out of his own jungle on the left side by Owl, on the right side by Orion, and Lone Wolf is just letting this happen to his jungle. Um, you might want to see a rotation over to this right side, but I'm not sure if the Thanatos can do anything. Like he might just
Yeah, I,
die
I
to
don't think
this
he wins these
auto.
ones. I mean,
I guess we're seeing
Ara-
it right now, and
Amaterasu doesn't have any, physical defense, so it's actually not an awful fight for this Thanatos.
he comes back down out of the ultimate. But this is a nice little 1v1, but the whale is coming. So even if Orion manages to win it, which he's not going to, he is still going to lose. Owl comes with the save, but Ama is in a bad spot. Lone Wolf trying to guess which way he's going to go. Here comes Rao on the Marty, knocked up. The ultimate does come down. Down comes the tidal wave and manages to grab him. And now the Merc's in a 1v3 looking for the Marty, but you need to get out of there if you are Owl. And you are 3 levels up on this Thanatos now. He's 3-0, but in response, Odin's Headhunters are just going to grab that Gold Fury off of that big rotation from Death Dealers to the right jungle. And honestly, that's all due to Orion just proxying the wave, taking that right jungle, manages to draw 4 members from Death Dealers over to that side, and it results in them getting a free gold.
This is a legendary game. I want to point something out. This is a 4 prophetic game.
Oh, we're
There,
seeing
there are
prophetic
four
on both
prophetic
solo
folks. No,
and
both solos, both supports. Just everybody's like, you know what? We can stack this.
all right. We
I
see
don't think I've
12
ever seen a
stacks
game
on
with
the support.
4 prophetic.
We see 12 stacks on the
I feel like Charon
dealers
finishes them,
and 3 stacks are.
only Charon finishes them.
You think so? Only Kara? I don't
Yeah,
know,
I feel
man.
like
Ares
only
has a
Charon
whole
does, and
zero
it's
stacks
just
so far.
because he's so good at poking. Yeah, because Ares isn't very good at poking. Ares is good at, full
With the
committing
way,
on somebody.
yeah, I'm inclined to say he gets it just with how aggressive he's been playing, but I definitely see what you're saying. And I guess we'll see. I guess we will see. And we do see Frank opting for that transcendent second item once again on game. I know we said how we feel about
I
it
mean,
on
maybe he knows
X Ball.
something
How are
we
you feeling
don't,
about
but I don't think it's true. You know, I feel as if he's
I
been in the kitchen a little bit
yeah,
too long. Maybe the microwave's leaking out some radiation. I don't know, but I don't think that
we
this
do see
Transcendence build is worth it.
yeah, I don't know either. It's something I wouldn't personally build, but you know what? Frank's been on this earth a whole lot longer than I have, so I'm not gonna argue with him. Um, we do see Amma once again going back to proccing wave, ultimate forced on the Thanatos and on the Bake, hit down by Ginkgo, but he's on a low health bar, and that Amaterasu's health isn't going down that fast as Orion is forced back out of his proxying waves. He is giving up all the XP that comes in the lane, which is really just, the silver buff and the totem, but he's managing to steal a lot of farm from this Thanatos and kind of take Ginkgo's viability out of this early game, but it looks like Thanatos might be getting a shutdown onto the Mercury, goes over to Lone Wolf, who's now on a killing spree and gets the shutdown onto the Mercury, and the whale is looking like he might be looking for a triple kill as he pushes down. Are they going to tower dive? Are they? Oh, they decided not to. They decided not to. I think that might have been a good time to tower dive, though. They would have gotten the double
I
kill
think
off
that's
of
I
it.
think that's like the edge case where nah, we got this. I mean,
This
these
is
towers are
the
deadly. They've racked up a lot of assists in this set already. You don't want to give them any more.
yeah, the maybe Lone Wolf kind of just got flashbacks to set one where he tower dove and then got double killed, and that might have just ended up being what happened. But not a lot of action anywhere else other than the solo lane. As we do see Ishtar rotate to the mid and take that mid T1. Frank already playing without his T1 in left, and Orion's playing as if there is no T1 in right, as he's been on the other side of it for so long. So we finally get to see a fight between the two over this wave, and that's a level up Bake Kujira, who has a whole extra half an item, but
Yeah, but he
Orion
doesn't
goes
have a
right
blue
back to
buff.
the other side. Yeah, he goes right back to the other side of the tower and just I don't even think he knows which one is his T1 at this point. Like I think he thinks that he's on the other side. But he's gonna lose his tier 1 tower for this, and Merc might lose it. Yeah, that tower isn't hurting as bad as it used to for Lone Wolf. The TP coming down from Ares. We see Morgan Le Fay starting to make her way over, and we might see a big 4v4 in this right lane. Interesting to see if we're going to see Frank use his ultimate to get over on the Chernobog. Bake down at half health despite 3 people hitting him. He's just not losing health that fast because he's a Bake. Ginkgo picks up Owl on the far side. A good response from the Death Dealers. The 3-man Ares chains gets a huge pull, forces the ultimate out of Rao, and Thoughtful is looking for a kill onto the Bake. Not going to do too much. We do see Jolly pick up Ginkgo in response, and it's looking like it's going to be a 1-for-1 as Rao decides to hide under this T1. Lone Wolf managing to get out. The TP coming in. Honestly, I thought it was from Frank, but then I remembered he doesn't have TP. Frank is still pushing up
He
that left
has
side,
TP.
manages to grab the tier 1.
He has it. Oh yeah, he got a
Oh,
second
oh,
relic.
wow. Oh,
Yes.
he got it second relic. Oh, man. I had faith in him, too. I
Yeah,
saw,
I had
I
faith
saw
that he would
the,
buy it, and he did. My hero.
oh, I saw the beads first item and thought he wasn't going to build the TP. We do see a T2 go down, a T1 go down for Odin's Headhunters, and in return, they grab the Pyromancer. It's only a 1,500 gold game, so still anybody's game, really. Death Dealers doing a good job. They've lost the Gold Fury, they lost the Pyromancer, but it looks like Odin's is about to lose their ADC as Tech is trying to get out. The knockout from Morgan Le Fay and manages 2 peel for their ADC as Orion is doing a decent amount of damage. So is Jolly to this Bake. In
The
response, Death
amount
Dealers
of
say,
just
okay.
no care given from Lone on the whale. Just,
Oh yeah,
mm, I'm gonna go walk at 3 people. It'll be all right. I'll walk away.
Lone,
No big
Lone
deal.
plays Nike where he can jump into the 4v1 and be fine. He plays Bake where he can jump into the 4v1 and be fine.
I don't know about all
Maybe
that. I
maybe
mean, I saw a couple times last game where Nike jumped into 4 and Was dead before I could blink.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't argue with that, but they
Yeah,
do
yeah,
manage to grab
yeah.
that beacon. Yeah, you're right. You're correct. And it looks like Orion's gonna try and grab this T1 in response. We do see the Thanatos looking for something on this left side, Ginkgo, but there are three members of Odin's Headhunters over there, all of which have their ultimates ready, and you're not really gonna do anything as a Thanatos that's 2 levels down on every member of the other team other than the support. Um, The Odin's Headhunters did a great job in this early game of keeping Thanatos out of the game. You had your Merc invading on the left side. You had your Amaterasu invading on the right side, who's once again taking Lone Wolf's purple buff, blue buff, and going to go back to this wave underneath the T1 tower that's no longer there. As Lone is just running around the map, doing whale things, clearing clearing the minions in the jungle and being a general nuisance. What do you think so far of these teams? We have seen the gold lead go up to about 3,000 now in the favor of Odin's Headhunters.
Yeah, the headhunters are certainly looking good. I mean, Death Dealers certainly have a big asset in Lone Wolf right now. He's just really strong, especially on Bake. He's just hard to deal with, so definitely don't mind him there. Ooh, Hovering Death used a little bit too prematurely, looking for something, not gonna find it. And it looks like they've been baited. They're like, oh yeah, we get this Oni for free? Yeah, but we're just
Well,
gonna get fire for
uh,
free. I love that
yeah,
call.
Odin's Headhunters are just going to go straight over to the Fire Giant. They know the Death Dealers are on the Fury, and I don't think Death Dealers know that they're on Fire Giant now. Health is not going down as much as possible, as much as they would like it to, but Death Dealers don't even know that they're over there. So that's just a free Fire Giant from Odin's Headhunters, and I just want to say we are 20 minutes into this game, and there's only been 12 kills. There was
Yeah,
12 kills
kind
in
of slow
like
and boring. I mean,
8
ain't nothing
minutes.
going on.
Yeah, it was like 12 kills in 8 minutes last time. I don't kind of disappointed in both these teams for not, continuing the pace. But once again, Odin's Headhunters have made another just spot on objective play. That's a great call coming out from them. And I just want to call this right now a prophetic check. We've got
Not a
23
lot of
stacks on
stacks.
Charon, 14 on the Bake, but on the other side, 7 and 6
Yeah,
the support and
13
the
total
some of Odin's
prophetic
Headhunters.
stacks on the headhunters.
Yeah, yeah,
Certainly
that's
struggling to
rough.
get those. You know, playing the
That
map a little
is
bit better,
rough.
playing the fights pretty well, but not getting those stacks.
Yeah,
And I think
and
a lot of that just
let's
has
be
to
honest.
do with, Orion just proxying the whole time instead of, farming stacks with Bake.
Yeah, I would agree with you. He's been kind of more focused on the jungle camps, keeping that Thanatos off of them. As we see them pushing for this T2 tower, the ultimate comes out of Lone Wolf, and Frank is there. The Chernobog beads come out to avoid the Ares, and Hovering Death comes in and grabs the Thanatos. Instantly just gets melted by Owl. This Merc is starting to get online. He's got that Deathbringer up, and they are pushing them off this T2, managing to do so. A lot of higher health bars on the side of Death Dealers than Odin's Headhunters, but Frank might have got caught out of position. However, Rao manages to push them back by going up into the air, and it's looking like both teams are just going to back off. And I can go back to what I was saying. Everyone knows that the winner of the game is who gets the prophetic stacks first.
Hmm.
So,
It's the
by
only
that
metric.
logic, by that logic, Death Dealers are in the lead right now. And
Yeah, Death
not
Dealers
by
have a
any
pretty
other logic,
comfortable lead. Yeah.
not by any other logic, but they have their prophetic stacks up and they're hiding in the grass. Darth Dumbledore looking to get a little bait, and the TP comes in from Lone Wolf. TP not used by Frank. I'd like to see him back and maybe get a TP in, maybe try and go for a little gank on the TP. But
He's got the ult, he's got the
we
TV, he's got a lot of
that's what
movement
I'm saying.
options
We
available.
haven't seen him really put it to use yet.
I don't think
He
I've seen the
promised me he
TP on
would.
cooldown.
Yeah, he promised he would TP to right lane, get a kill, ult to mid lane, get a kill, and then TP to left lane to get his wave back. But haven't seen it yet.
He's just
And
waiting to
once
get those
again, we
kills,
see.
you know? He can't
Yeah,
use
yeah,
them
yeah, yeah.
until he gets that combination.
Yeah. He has to get the triple kill. Orion is once again farming the right side jungle of the Death Dealers. He took that mid T1 tower, and Odin's Headhunters are just starting to build that lead as we see uh, Owl and Orion going towards that Pyromancer. And once again, I don't even think Death Dealers know. They they weren't even aware. They're too busy with this fight on the beacon that they're looking for. And once again, Malone is just in there tanking everything and barely losing any health as the Ares ultimate comes down, grabs the two-man chain onto the Bake and the Charon, but that is just a dead Ginkgo. He's getting melted in these fights, and down goes Lone to Orion, and it looks like Darth Dumbledore is next to follow to the gray screen, falls to Owl, and Orion is chasing Rao back, who is 4 levels down in this mid lane, and it's not looking good right now for the Death Dealers. They might have the prophetic stacks, but they don't have the experience stacks lined up, and it looks like this mid bird is going to be getting pushed by the Odin's Headhunters with 2 members up of Death Dealers. Can't really defend against all 5 as I'm So Thoughtful almost falls, and Frank is just split pushing. He's just doing his thing up in that left lane. We do see them starting to move towards this left tier 2, which is also going to fall to the Merc and the Ishtar. And like we said, not as aggressive of a game as we saw in game 1. But it's kind of just
Not as
been slow
aggressive.
and tactical from Odin's Headhunters. Just slowly taking apart the Death Dealers just with better objective calls, doing a great job of keeping the Thanatos from getting going early. And once you get in the late game, the Thanatos versus a Merc kind of just becomes not a non-factor, but less of a factor.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those where, all right, you're either going to kill the Merc instantly, or the Merc is going to punch you one time in the side of the head, and you're gonna fall to the ground. So definitely tough,
Yeah,
especially with Orion taking a bunch of the Thanatos' farm, and losing it on the other side. Just very well played from the Headhunters. They had that plan. Yeah, we're just gonna kind of steal away this farm as much as we can. We're gonna put him down. We're gonna make sure Rao can't have either of the gods he's performed on in the draft. So can't have him on anything too comfortable. We're gonna put a little bit more pressure in mid. They just have a good game plan and they're executing it well.
yeah, and even in the side lanes, like in the ADC lane, there hasn't been that much attention. Like you're just seeing Tex kind of getting the better of Frank, at least in the farming battle. You can see he's already got that starter and the tier 1 of his next item. Frank doesn't even have a starter up yet, but we do see 5 people collapsing in on Lone Wolf on this Bake, and it looks like he might just fall as the Ares pool does come down, manages to grab the kill for I'm So Thoughtful, and that's going to be his second of the game. Honestly, he's made a huge impact on this Ares up to this point, and Odin's Headhunters are just going to push. They're going to take this Fire Giant, which is the second one of the game that's fallen at 26 minutes. The double hit from Fire Giant, and it just falls so fast, and no response from the Death Dealers. They lose their solo laner, and just not really anything you can do, I guess. Frank's just going to keep on pushing, maybe try and trade this T2 and this Phoenix on the right side for a Phoenix on the left side, which is arguably more valuable. But valuable for what? You already lost the Fire Giant. It's looking like they're going to try and push into your base. As this starts to go down, the TP comes out from Orion, and it's the Chernobog goal instantly. That's how you play Chernobog. He gets right back over here, forced the TP off of Orion into that left lane, and it's going to be a 4v4 for this right side Phoenix. While Lone Wolf is back up and defending the Titan from these minions, not going to have a Winion victory today. And the siege is looking slow. The barrier was thrown up by Dumbledore just to kind of slow their attack. However, the more you slow their attack, the more time Orion's going to have to get back, and you'll have a 5v5. Right now, you've got this 4v5 to defend the Phoenix. You've got them starting to push down left. You know that Orion's in left. So if you were the Death Dealers in this situation, what are you kind of looking to do?
I mean, the problem is that you're pretty significantly behind. You're looking at a 12k deficit. You don't really have the strength to fight them, even in the 4v5. You can't just get aggressive on them. You kind of just have to sit here and say, "Oh, we just gotta withstand this just a little bit longer. We can get that Phoenix up. We can get back into the game." But if they get a little too hasty, they could lose it all right here. So, got to be very careful.
We do see old Ares go up and pull in Darth Dumbledore, and out comes the tidal wave. Manages to grab 2, and that might be the cue to go. It's looking like it's just going to try and be a poke battle. However, Morgan Le Fay is low. Thanatos goes up into the hovering death, comes down, gets the execute onto Jolly Green, and that's going to be the cue to go. Lone Wolf is getting low on his Bake. Tech manages to find the kill. Tech manages to get the double kill onto Frank. Tech manages to get the triple kill onto Dumbledore, and he's looking for that fourth. He wants the quadra, and he's pushing for it, but it looks like Rao might deny it. He's gonna not manage to get it. Thoughtful takes the quadra kill away from him, and now it's just
No,
Ginkgo versus
gets
the
the
world, and
quadra.
Tech
Just
manages to grab it anyway. It would have been the penta, but Thoughtful takes it away, and Odin's Headhunters managed to get this set in a 2-0. The long anticipated battle between Frank and Tectonics comes out with Tech on top, and that was dominance from Odin's Headhunters, honestly. That was just pure. That second game was mwah, chef's kiss. It was brilliant. They just looked like the better team in that game too.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it just looked like they knew what they wanted to do. They knew what they were going to do, and they were just on top of it. You know, you lose a little bit here and there, but they just march forward, and just an amazingly clean game from the Headhunters there. I would like to point something out. Tectonics got a quadra kill at the very end of the game. He has 4 kills total. He was going for a 5 kill penta game. You know,
That
I respect
that would have been
his game.
ridiculous.
I respect his game.
That would have been ridiculous, but I'm so thoughtful. Had to steal it from him, rob him, make sure he went positive. Wow, what a selfish support player! What
I
a
think he was
selfish
just trying to
support
slow
player.
him down with the chain so he couldn't get back to Fountain, and it's just like, oh, the tick damage got him. Oopsies.
Well, rip. But yeah, both of these teams played really well. Obviously, not the result you want if you're on the side of death dealers, but just a better strategy coming out of Odin's Headhunters. Solid game two, solid set. It was, I'm sure, very entertaining for everybody to watch with all the aggression, all the rivalries that we know coming out of this series, and I think we honestly saw Orion show why he was one of the top picks in the draft, show how good he is, how impactful he can be in that solo lane. And honestly, just a great set. So that's going to be all for us tonight. I've been T Pity, your chair one. We've had Ruler of Men on chair two, and Mr. Nacho on the production. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys on Sunday.